Yeah, we wait a second. I mean,
cool.
but we are on Facebook, though, having said that.
Oh, nice. I thought that was a nice way of saying shut up and stay out of the background.
Oh, there you are. I see you on my phone.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, I'll get out of your way.
Okay.
Thank you, Facebook.
That's Ty. He's staying with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to start the show, as it were.
As it
I
were.
got something, as it were. Hey, this is the Two Hippies, One Drunk on the Road edition. We're coming to you live from New Orleans, the Big Easy. On this week's episode, we'll be covering our time in Texas and Louisiana. Hello, people. Hello, this is Tyler over here,
Right here.
always, and Scott right here.
Yep.
And so when we left, I'm trying to think where we did our last episode. We were in Austin, Texas, but we hadn't really done anything yet. But when we were doing that episode, we did not hit on a thing that we had done yet, and I think it was worth mentioning still, and that was our trip to Daley Plaza to see the home of the location of the situation with John F. Kennedy.
The old boom, 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 boom.
Right.
The old boom, boom.
Right. For those watching, there was a nice visual effect. For those listening, I put a gun to my head. Anyway, Scott, you've always been really interested in so much so that you did an episode on the John F. Kennedy assassination. Yeah. What were your thoughts when you were there?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was definitely surreal being at the place. Things always look different when they're on video compared to in person. I wish I had been more cranks. I wanted a guy who's like smart but a little bit off, who's really willing to talk with you about the Kennedy assassination. And there was like a guy hawking books.
I feel like Scott being there for 4 or 5 hours, you're that person.
Yeah, I might have been the crank. That's fair. Right. I'm looking around like, where are these cranks? I just can't find them.
I've been talking to people all day.
Right. Yeah, no, you could have been the dude that would have been telling people the real story, and stuff like that. It is. What did you think, Tyler?
The only thing I would say is it was okay. It was a street, and I wish there was more stuff that you could actually learn about it. And they did have tours and stuff, but it costs money. And it's I felt like it was all right.
Well,
but I wasn't super interested in that assassination anyway.
Well, the thing is, the reality is, if we were a long time, Dallas wasn't very proud of it. It's not something that they're like, hey, come to our city and see where a president was killed.
That's so true.
Yeah. So it is a weird situation. Like Lincoln's death, in the Ford's Theater, I think that's a little different because it's it was way back, and they do have this theater. It's in Washington where they have museums and stuff. I think
enough time has passed.
Yeah, well, that too, but I also think this is different in the sense that it was in just a middle of a road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not gonna.
And it's by 2 X's. You just see X's in the road. It seems pretty grim. At least they didn't outline where he died.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well,
worse.
Yeah.
Or that little stickers of brain matter or something.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it is interesting. It's a weird thing because again, like I said, it's not I think again with Lincoln, it's not only one you're right long ago, but also it was in a theater where they can just seal it off and do it. Here you're just in the middle of the road, and you can look at things, but they're expensive. And it's I don't know, what are you gonna do? Go up to the book depository and see where the shot didn't come from? I mean,
it also don't get me wrong, there are some good Lincoln conspiracy theories actually. But it's not on the level where I would say most of the country still doesn't necessarily agree on exactly what happened in the Kennedy
with Lincoln, the conspiracies are more just why did he shoot him? But it's we know who shot him. You know what I'm saying in that sense.
He was there. Everybody saw him.
Right. Yeah. Gun to his head, and then jumping off of the balcony. So it's not. It's not a mystery. I mean, there's conspiracies on why he did it in situations like that, like you said, but it's not a mystery on who did it. And when you don't know when the mass public, as you could say, doesn't necessarily all agree on who did it, that makes a big difference.
Yeah,
for sure. So,
and I would say being there for sure. That man was shot from the grassy knoll.
Yeah.
There is no way in hell he was shot from that book depository.
No way. Not from the he gets shot from the front, correct?
Okay.
Or is it
they claim
he goes backwards?
Here's the thing. His head goes back into the left, famously. That's the whole thing. Now, typically, when you're hit from a projectile in the front, it's going to make your head snap backwards. Yeah. Their story, the official story, is that it came from the back, blew out the front of his head, and then made his head snap back.
Which has probably never happened ever in history of a shot to the head.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't think so. But it was definitely the grassy knoll because like you just couldn't even see it.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get that angle. There's no the bullet would have to turn and come
And
back at you.
I think they claimed some of that stuff. There was some of that shit in there. But so that was interesting. And then we go ahead if you had any final thoughts on that.
No.
And then we headed down to Austin. In Austin, it was tough because for one, Tyler dealt with it a little bit. I was out of commission for a full day in Austin. Here we are in Austin, Texas on a Saturday. I didn't leave the couch.
Hungover, man.
Yes, Pat Green.
Pat Green got us good, man.
Had done me good the night before, and I didn't do anything. And most of us kind of took a chill day. And then, having said it, me and Tyler did do while we were there. We did this really cool thing by our Airbnb that was like, which by the way, today I was watching an auto racing show, and they were talking about how they're going to be back in Austin for this race. Yep. It was kind of cool because they showed this in like their scenery of like
they showed the
pool, yeah, like in like this is what like
That's
we're
so
going to be in Austin in a few weeks doing this race and
that
or whatever.
is so cool.
So me and Tyler had this. There was this natural spring, and sometimes I think when people say springs, they assume it's hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a hot spring.
Right.
Honestly, I kind of imagined that too, but it was cold.
Right. It was not a hot spring,
No.
but it was a cold spring. But it was right by our hotel or our Airbnb, and they called it a pool.
Yep.
And it looked like it was almost a river / a lake, but really it was not. The water was just bubbling up from somewhere below it, and it was a natural pool. And me and Tyler did that. You want to talk about that?
It was beautiful, and also it was fucking cold. Like it was cold outside, and honestly, I don't think I've ever gotten in a lake when it's like, what was it, like 40 out?
Oh my God, yeah.
Like something like that. I've never like gone in water at that level. But once I got used to it, it was one of the coolest pools I've ever been in. I mean, it literally had a view of the city, like in one end, and like a forest behind us and a cliff next to us, and then like a normal pool cement thing. And then you're walking around on like legit like rock and seaweed,
Right,
and, like,
right.
all the stuff that you'd imagine coming from a spring or a lake. So it was, it was.
Well, no,
It was so funny too when you guys got back because I'm a baby about the cold. I won't fuck with the cold, and so like I was immediately like, no, there's no way in hell I'm going into this hot spring, or this not hot
Cold
spring, this refrigerated spring, and so you guys get back and I'm like, how was it? You're like, yeah, like it was great. You know, it hurt how cold it was at first, but then like my body just got kind of warm. And like I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that that's exactly how they describe hypothermia.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a safe pool. There was lifeguards and stuff.
There were honestly a decent amount of people there.
No, there were, but
were there.
Yes.
Oh wow.
There was about 5 or 6 people swimming other than us. But I will say he is right in that, like, I'm a baby with water too. I was like crying. I did not want to go in. But Tyler went in.
I had to.
Right.
Like, we were there.
And when he did, I couldn't be there and just say I didn't do it.
Yep.
And I mean, I was literally crying as I finally just said 1, 2, 3 and like went in. But I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I did enjoy
Once
it.
you got in, honestly, it really wasn't that bad. It wasn't the pneumonia setting in. It was just us having a good time. And honestly, you get acclimated to that kind of thing.
So the bullet points are it hurt. I was crying. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
And speaking of that,
tension and release, man.
And that'd be a great way to segue into my and Tyler's comedy experience in Austin, Texas, because all 3 of those could describe what we did that night.
I think that's true. I think that's very accurate. And the release was after we got out of the comedy club.
The release was leaving the comedy club.
It was a rough night for everybody because nobody gave a shit. There was a game going on. The host was walking in and out of the room checking on like a football game, right?
Yeah,
that was going on.
Correct.
And I mean, the fact that he gave roll call at the beginning, like to be like, hey, is Eric Fady here?
And then just
okay, yeah, you're up.
Yeah.
Present.
Yeah, come up and make us laugh.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, Eric did do like he did a story that like did do all right, like comparatively to everybody else.
Yeah, there was a few people that was okay. I tried a few of my jokes that I've been doing, literally nothing, just dead silence. So then I went into a rather vulgar story from my past that is very extreme that I knew. It's like, how can this not get a reaction? So at least got something.
Yep.
We're glad we did it, but it was absolutely an empty room. The worst
hated
room.
It. I cut off my set halfway through.
Yeah.
Was just like, yep, I'm done. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I need to get the fuck out of here.
I was visiting a friend in Austin at the time, and I called you, I think, a couple of minutes afterwards. I was like, how did it go? And you were like, not good.
Yeah, not good, man.
No, I mean it was what it was, but then it was
Yeah.
kind of cool. Tyler and I ended up going to checked out the Capitol afterwards, which is a
Which was so huge, man.
big ass building.
That building was monstrous. Like,
Yeah.
it was. Like like Eric was saying, when you're too close to it, you can't see the top. Like you can't see the what is it called? The dome.
The rotunda.
The rotunda.
Like
yeah.
I've been to a lot of Capitol buildings, and you can usually still see the rotunda.
Yeah.
I mean, not right up on it, but like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
And like, no, you could not see it. So that was really cool. And we
Yep.
went to a rooftop bar. Austin was cool.
Yeah.
What I said so far of the cities we've gone to, I haven't disliked anything.
Yeah.
But of the cities that we've gone to that I would like to come back and be able to visit again and spend some more time, Austin and San Diego so far on my list.
Honestly, it was so much more like mountainous and like I thought it was just gonna be desert. And like when me and Eric drove around and checked some of the stuff out that day, it was so like hilly and cliffy and like had a bunch of like character to it and lakes and stuff. And I really thought it was just gonna be a desert.
Right, totally.
And it was not.
Did you guys notice too the level of stickers all over the place in Austin? Like on every light post, on every like wooden anything, like electric pole or anything. I don't know. I have no idea what that means. That was just a weird thing that I also noticed.
Well,
walking around
also,
Austin.
and if you're going to move to Austin, I do know that you better like dogs. Have a dog or like dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs are very, very prevalent in Austin, Texas, as far as I can tell.
Like the bar that me and Eric went to, it was a rooftop bar, and they gave 25% off to people who brought dogs on Sundays.
Right.
So like they really, really love their dogs, and everybody was walking them.
Dude, that is such a win-win. You get to bring your dog into a fucking bar and get 25% off.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah, it's good time.
And I should say also, me and Tyler also met up with a Detroit cast listener. I don't. Her Facebook's name's Barney, I think. I don't think that's her real name, but that was cool. She took us to a nice barbecue place that was really good food, and then she also directed us to these two little cliffs places that me and Tyler went and saw cool views of the city. So that was cool. That was Austin for the most part. And then the next thing is so this episode will be a little short because of some inactivity that we had happen during the week. I'm gonna get into more of what happened with my van as like the progress is relayed. But so what happened was we were in Lafayette, Louisiana for a few days. Originally we were gonna do some comedy there. And my van is having a little bit of an issue. We took it into a dealership to get looked at and diagnosed. Long story short, like I said, it didn't get fixed yet, but we didn't have the van the whole time. So we all three had to just spend literally 2.5 full days just in a hotel with no transportation, which was interesting. What would you say?
I love the breakfast. They had a dope breakfast at that place.
yeah, the thing is, I feel like the location was not great because there wasn't anything to even walk to or to do. The hotel was fucking fire. I mean, it had, I think we spent an insane amount of time, like just exercising because the gym kicked ass. We had great breakfast. It was big. It was, and we really we used the hell out of that room.
Yeah, no quite. We got lucky. So like I have some of these reasons for anyone that cares, not that it's any of your business. But the reason I have some of these nicer hotels and a little bit is I before this trip had got some advice from different people and got a few hotel credit cards with points. So one of the places I have is this Bonvoy card through Marriott, which I just use everything on. And so we get points, and this was a really reasonably priced, one of the lower priced point rooms I got. And it turned out really good because when I originally planned it, I did not know we would literally be in the hotel room for the whole time without transportation. And luckily, it ended up being kind of like a studio apartment. It had like a king bed, a fold out couch bed, but like it had separated areas versus like even some of these town places are great, but they're still like a hotel room. This one was almost like an apartment, which really came in handy.
Yeah, like a studio apartment.
Yeah.
Like a living room, full kitchen, like pretty much everything you need.
And it was funny. Like we all just found ourselves in the end. We were like, yeah, this will be good. We need a reset. It's already been a month on the road. We've never done anything like this. But in the end, as human nature and us like liking to do stuff like this, it still was hard. We found ourselves saying to each other, should I be doing more? Even though like Tyler and Scott are right. Like we all woke up, we did our workout, we had our breakfast. Scott would do some writing. Tyler would practice his guitar. I would do some stuff, little videos. But still, 5 o'clock hits, and you're like, "Yep, we're in the hotel. We're gonna go to bed."
I haven't seen anything amazing today.
Can I also point out the unique difficulty of trying to use Tinder and be like, I'm going to be in town for like 2 days, and also like I don't have transportation.
Yeah.
It's a lot to put on.
So that's pretty much everyone on Tinder,
No,
or the girls on Tinder.
You don't say that. You like meet them at the chicken place we went to,
Raising
and then
Cane's.
be like, "Yeah, I'm at the. We can just walk to my hotel."
Yeah, I know this really classy
like-
chicken place.
When you are not be walking
Raising
back to the
Cane's.
hotel, you'll be walking back to her place
No.
and then coming back
You,
after.
you could get a room at the hotel. You just don't tell them the room.
The person without a credit card, so you get a room at the
Hell
hotel.
It's called breaking and entering.
Yeah.
It's a way to get laid.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Find an open laundry room somewhere.
Yeah, so that's true.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting living in a hotel for a few days. It was, at least in the end, like we said, at least it was a very good hotel to live in for a few days. I get into the van situation a little more just because I think it's not worthy of telling until we can kind of tell the full story. But it's okay. We're safe. I mean, the van is working and we got something figured out. So it's going to be fine. Having said that, and this isn't the end of the show yet, but this would be a great time to point out that although, yes, we all worked very hard and are trying to scrimp and make our own food and be thrifty, we are on the road. There is, expenses always come up that we don't expect. If you want, we do 3 shows a week. I do my Biggie comedy venture usually on Mondays. We do the 2 Hippies, 1 Drunk on Wednesdays, which is a show that's just a regular podcast. Nothing special. I mean, nothing as much on the road related for the most part. And we do this one, the On the Road, which is not always the same date. Just depends on what our situation is. And I'm taking donations, and there's been a lot of people got another $50 last week from a Detroit cast listener that for some drinks and stuff. So we are getting them. We do not need to give $50. All we're asking is if you watch any of these shows a week or enjoy the content, maybe $1 a week would be great. So that's awesome. Eric, ERIC, F as in Frank, ADIE at Venmo or 2 Hippies. Now,
and that's probably a good segue into 2. If you're looking for a reason to donate somebody and help him, this man lost $60 at the roulette table in the course of
yeah.
5 minutes yesterday. The old Riverboat Casino.
These sons of bitches. So me and my buddy TCG, for any Detroit cast listeners, actually flew down here for a few days as well. If you were watching this video, he was on the video at the very, very beginning before I started the intro. But so we go to casinos all the time, and we've been to Vegas a dozen times. Detroit. We used to go to Detroit every weekend, and we're like, yeah, well, don't worry, guys, we know what we're doing, and we're gonna blah blah blah. Me, Ty, $80 right off the bat. Me, $60 gone right off the bat. And then these motherfuckers. You want to explain what happened there?
Well, Scott,
I won a couple of games of roulette right away. Which turned $20 into $56.
Which, real quick, is even more of a spit to my face because that's my game. God damn it. Anyway, go ahead.
I just said, in that moment when I was in the zone, I told you, I'm like, dude, I just feel it. Put it all on black. Put it all on black this time. And you stuck to your thirds and just finished your $20.
Well, here was the problem. So what happened there where he got me in is like, I was already down $40. I was down $40 $40 already. And so I just realized I did math wrong last night, by the way. I could have done one more 20, and if I won, I would have broken even, I think. Yeah. But either way, I was down $40. And he's like, I'm feeling black. But if I put 20, see, I'm wrong. My math was wrong last night. If I had done black, 20 would be 20. Oh no, because I would only won 20.
No, you would have still been 20.
No, I still would have been 20. So I was like, if I do good at, like everybody, I do good at gambling if I win right away. If I win right away, I can pull money back. If I lose, then it's like chasing that fucking, that fucking dragon.
Digging yourself out of that goddamn pit.
Right, trying to get even. And so he told me to do black. I said, no, I'm going to do these thirds because I need to get to even. If I get this, I'll get to even. Lost, and I was done. Luckily, this place did offer free drinks while you were gambling. So I drank I think my Bud Lights cost me $10 a piece, but they were free.
Oh, and we were really milking too, dude. It got to the point where we put like $10 in a slot machine, and then just when the waitress would come around, like hit it once or twice.
No, we got lucky. Our girl Sierra, I think it was Sierra.
Sierra sounds right.
Yeah, Sierra. Ty's a pretty good charmer, and he got one of these girls that they didn't care that we weren't. We were just watching Tyler, which I'm going to let him explain his story of fucking bullshit soon. And they were just watching us, and watching us gamble or watching. She gave us drinks despite that all we were doing is watching Tyler gamble. So Scott won $35 in the end, or 50.
I started with 20, ended with 56.
Okay, so on my own game, and then Tyler.
The only thing I spent there was $10 on a slot machine, and I honestly it went all the way down to I had like $1 and like 20 cents left, and I hit it. And it got, I don't know, something happened, and it was like, you get more turns.
Yeah.
And I got like 50 turns, and then it happened again, and I got 119 turns for free.
Like free spins on the wheel.
Free spins on the wheel. And honestly, it's frustrating because like they were talking about, and honestly, I felt like if I have 119 turns, I should at least get $50 out of this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
and me and Ty were like, dude, you should get 200.
Yeah.
Like, we're like 100 should be the least you win.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it was a 40-cent bet, so like it is cheaper,
doesn't
but
matter.
still, it should have been
119 turns.
Here's why it doesn't matter. Somebody back. So the thing about this casino, it was really cool. It was a riverboat. It was old. It had different floors. It was cool. The payouts, I think, were bullshit. Like you were winning, but someone behind us had a $5 hand, and I don't exactly know what they hit, but they got a big jackpot, and they only won $200. And dude, you play $5. No one plays $5 on a fucking slot machine.
Yeah.
People pay like 50 cents. Dollar is a lot sometimes. And so 40 cents shouldn't have made a difference. With 119 spins, you should have been over 100. You still won though in the end.
Yeah, I won $23 off my 10.
And that's total, by the way.
So
That's
33 altogether.
So 33 altogether.
right. And then you got to remember, you didn't pay for drinks and stuff like that. So
didn't pay for a single
was
drink
still-
all night.
And I thought, like, and I know we got to wrap it up soon, but I thought Ty's, he gambles more than we do by a good margin and like slot machines. And he had a really good observation where he was like, I don't like these slot machines because I don't hear anybody winning. I don't hear any cheers. I don't hear any like ding lights going off or anything. And it was like, once you notice that, it was dead silent. It was just depressed people just hitting the button.
Yep, right. At least they were filling us up with cheap beer or free alcohol. So there was that.
Yeah.
So these sons of bitches ended up winning on the casino. And so that's going to be it for this week's On the Road. We will have obviously more about New Orleans because we're going to be doing comedy tonight and hitting the bar scene a little bit and some other shit. So we will have more. We don't exactly know when we'll be doing this. I'm trying to think. Most likely, the next one will be recorded. It will be either Panama City or Alabama somewhere. So that was this week's Two Hippies on the Road, or Two Hippies, One Drunk on the Road, from covering Texas and Louisiana. But we'll have a little more of Louisiana, as I said, later. You guys, that's it. You guys have any final thoughts?
Just rate us and review us 5 stars and comment on iTunes. That's another huge way you can help us.
Yeah, share our stuff. And it's been awesome. And I can't wait to see what we're going to do this weekend. And you'll get to hear about it next week. And we have all those other shows. Check them out.
All right. Thanks. Bye. See you guys.
Peace.